Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. It's Friday, April 7th. And on this reading, we're going to go visit Trey Crowder's home state of Tennessee and discuss the expulsion of Justin Pearson and Justin Jones. And I also want to find out about House Speaker Cameron Sexton, how he's feeling about these actions, and what the results might be. Now, interesting, in reading the CNN article on this, it turns out that it's more than 12 months before the next election, so there will be a special election to fill those seats, and that the people appointed, or there can be people appointed for that in the interim until they have that special election, and it doesn't look like there's any rules to prevent them from reappointing Justin Jones and Justin Pearson back to their seats, and then they'll have to run again for that position in the special election that will happen probably in the fall. So, the Republicans controlled supermajority in the Tennessee legislature. Congratulations, you kicked them out maybe for a little bit, but they might be back. And you might have just, as I believe one of them stated, they just started a tsunami that they're not going to be able to stop, because they made it really clear what the message was. And that message deals with race and gender and doing what you're told. Don't cause a fuss when we're in control. All right, you guys are going to get what you deserve for that, and you deserve a lot for what you get. Okay, so first off, I want to ask, how is Justin Jones currently feeling about this situation? To him, it's a huge burden, and that burden could be the disappointment of losing his position. Just wanted to look at the bottom of the deck to make sure I had it the right way. But it's also, the gun violence there, it was a burden that other people were bearing that he wanted to bear with them. So, let's see what happens with that. Okay, we have the celebration. That, to me, is those are the kids, the high schoolers, and the young college people that came out to protest, and he was helping them with that burden in that protesting. I don't think of this as the GOP celebrating their incredible victory, because it wasn't. And now you have the King of Swords. That's the GOP coming in and saying, "You're out." Not even taking into consideration the what was behind the protest. Nope, you're gone. And now we're going to be you're forcing these people back. You're forcing Justin Jones and Justin Pearson back into forcing them to almost retreat, and they have to sort of regroup at this point. There's also that charity. So when I was saying that that Ten of Wands was bearing that burden, I think that, working with the young people on this one for this overall problem that we had, and now we're going to be working with them some more. So I think he is not happy that he got put out, that he got voted out, but he's going to work, and he's going to try and get right back in. Now let's try Justin Pearson on this one. I believe that was Justin Jones I just read for. Let's try Justin Pearson. It's not helping that they both have... It helps that they both have the same first name. It doesn't help that they both have the same first name. What about Justin Pearson? How's he doing right now with his situation? And there were so many different ways the Republicans could have handled that. You don't have to expel them. You can... you can admonish them. You can pass some resolution on them. You can censure them. There's take them off their committees. There's all sorts of different ways that you can pull a power trip on these guys, short of kicking them out of the legislature. Idiots. And heaven forbid the shoe was on the other foot, right? All right, let's feel. Making his next move, planning his next move. So he's already. It's like, okay, this has happened. Now what am I going to do going forward? I think he feels that this was divinely inspired. He's having certainly if nobody knew who he was before, they know who he is now. And people that wouldn't know anything about Tennessee politics are talking about Tennessee politics. So mission accomplished in that one. Not to mention it brings to the forefront, it keeps that gun violence story going in the news cycles. Okay, it's a burden for him too. Go figure. It's a burden that he's bearing and a burden he helped other people bear. No, strong. And also, you can also look at this a little bit of strength, because it takes a little more backbone and strength to put yourself out there to fight for what you think is right. And he's going to be back, and he's going to be back in a big way. This is just the start. This might very well be a young man that you see in politics for the next 40 to 50 years. Right? It starts somewhere, and you trample on somebody and they fight back. He may become a household name before this is all said and done. Okay. So so going forward with the new plan, I don't think he's going to go retire. I think he's going to, whatever plan he's planning out with that 3 of Wands, he's going to activate it, and he's going to activate it big time. And then underneath is the Hermit card. So he might be evaluating what his next move is going to be. Maybe he decides he doesn't want to be in politics. Maybe he decides to do something else. But certainly this is a time for evaluation and figuring out what your next path is going to be. So good on him. I wish him luck in whatever he does. And we will now see what happens. I'm kind of curious. Okay, so again, we're going to look at the House Speaker, Cameron Sexton, who called their actions unacceptable and argued that they broke several rules of decorum and procedure on the House floor. One of the last people to get kicked out of that legislature was because of bribery, and the other one for sexual harassment or sexual assault. So these really aren't on the same level of playing field of criminality. Get your feelings hurt. Good Lord, what a bunch of snowflakes. Why don't you go take some more Christmas card pictures with your guns, you little snowflakes. Good God. Sorry, being a little judgy here. It's not fair, it's not right, it's bullying. There are so many different ways you could have handled this. But okay, you know what? Not for me to judge. I'm supposed to just read the cards here. Okay, Cameron, how are you feeling? You put those guys in their place? Feeling your oats there? Oh yeah, I'm the king of immaturity. So he thinks he's the king of maturity, but okay. Yes, I've got my emotions in control. I'm in charge. Yep, fighting from higher. So, there was a fight, and he's got the advantage because they have a supermajority, so he gets to rule like a king. And he gets to control the emotional temper and the emotional temperature of that legislative body. Okay, problem is the world's watching. This didn't go unnoticed, and now he's going to have to. Well, he may be fighting from a position of strength. He's going to have to deal with the world watching, and what is he going to have to deal with is a decision. Was that decision to whether or not to keep them or expel them? Probably. But he chose to do that, and that's what he did. And there was nothing going to stop him. But underneath it, he didn't play the tape through. He has not thought this thing through. He's thought about all the good stuff, all the gems and the crowns, but he hasn't thought about the serpents and the other bad things that are happening in there. So, this is going to be one of those things of somewhere between you reap what you sow and F around and find out. Okay. So he thinks that those two people that they kicked out, both the Justins, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, he thinks they f***ed around and now they're finding out. But what he doesn't realize is that this world card, it's all going to come back on him. And it's going to come back pretty quickly. It might, again, this might be a 2-year process before it really comes back, or basically a 2-year process before this comes back. But it's going to come back. And I don't think those high schoolers and those college-age kids, young men and women are going to be forgetting. He's activated them, and they're gonna come back and they're gonna swamp some votes there. That's my prediction. But let's find out what the cards say. Okay, so Spirit, you can go ahead and temper me because obviously I'm getting a little bit worked up here. All right, Spirit, what's going to happen in Tennessee after this expulsion? How is this going to impact the next election? Or at least what are the next steps? What can you tell me is going to happen as next steps? Because I'm curious. The folks watching this are curious too. I promise to behave. Won't be nearly as snarky as I was before. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of work that needs to be done. And probably on both ends, but especially with the Democrats, you've been handed gold. You've been handed an opportunity because while the GOP seems to peddle a lot of faux outrage, there's real outrage with this. This wasn't protesting the boots on a piece of M&M's candy. This wasn't protesting a trans person who drinks Bud Light. This is about, 9-year-olds getting shot with an assault weapon and wanting some sensible gun control and gun legislation to minimize and prevent that from happening in the future. Not the same thing. And moving quickly. Okay, so I think what this is telling me is that the Democrats have been handed the initiative, and now they need to move. They need to strike while that iron is hot. They need to activate people and keep that momentum going. They've got the outrage. Let's see what you can get. Let's see what you can get going with it. So how's this going to work out? Okay, so in the past, there's that Hermit card again. It's looking for truth, looking for. So this could be for the shooting or even leading up to the shooting. They're looking for a leader. They're looking for a path forward, and it's just been handed to them. So what are they going to do with that path? The Emperor. Okay, so the Emperor right now could be the GOP in Tennessee because they really are ruling like an emperor. They've got a supermajority, so you have to overcome the Emperor. Because, again, they have the control. They hold all the cards. And you're in a minority, so you've got a real uphill battle. But the cards are showing that if you work and you move quickly, you'll be able to overcome the Emperor. Why? Because you're going to put together a plan. And you're going to put that plan into action. Step by step, stone by stone, paver by paver. And you're going to make the road that's going to get you the success that you need. You need to do the work. But if you do the work and you do it now and capitalize on it, you're going to be successful. What's the lesson to be learned? You are right. This is the right thing to do. You've got the moral compass behind you. People know who you are. They agree with everything that these congressmen stood up for. State congressmen, these legislators stood up for. They've got the initiative. Take advantage of it. Put it to work. And it's going to be a hard fight. You may not get all the way there, but you're going to make progress. Even if the progress is to break the super majority that you have there, that's a start because right now they can just run roughshod over you. So even if you don't win the House over, which would be lovely, what you might be able to do is get it closer to a 50-50 House, at least under the supermajority part, because you've got more battles to fight. This isn't the first battle. This isn't the last battle, excuse me. It's the first battle. But it's a battle worth fighting. It's a battle worth winning because it sets the stage for the future battles to fight. And underneath it, you've got the Four of Pentacles, which is holding on. So I think in this, there's two ways to read it. If this was for the Democratic Party, they've got to let go of the old way of doing things and they have to embrace the new ways. There's a new opportunity here. You've got to drop these coins, these 4 coins, so that you can get up to these 7 coins. You can never get these 7 if your feet and your hands and your head are tied up with these 4. You got to think a little bit bigger than that. For the GOP, this is holding on to power. Absolutely holding on to power. They don't want anything to change. They've got all the chips in their deck, and they're not going to change a darn thing if they don't have to. So for Tennessee, honestly, I'm hopeful. It's not going to be an easy thing. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be just a next election thing. This is going to be a process. But hopefully what you've got is maybe by the end of this decade, you could have the Democrats in charge in Tennessee. And then when it comes time to redistricting, if we haven't had some type of gerrymandering map law passed at a federal level, maybe they can actually control the legislature so that they can redraw the maps in a more fair manner. And then all of a sudden, Tennessee might be accurately represented by its population. Knock on wood. I hope you enjoyed this reading. Give it a thumbs up and a like and all the YouTubey things. Share it if you like. I appreciate it. And I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.